Good evening, Britannia, and hello to the rest of the world. Welcome to 2CTV at a late evening live stream. It's a late evening live stream because I've received an email. I've been giving an email that I think is important for people to see. In this video, we're going to show you an email received by the Conservative Party, sent by the Conservative Party and Rishi Sunak, to a number of people, which is completely showing the desperation and the embarrassing state of the Tory party. And we're going to also, of course, focus on everything else that's happening as well. In the live chat, we're going to get your reaction. And of course, in about 3 hours' time, we have the first official presidential debate between Sleepy Joe and the Donald, which we'll, of course, react to as well. All right, but first, before we actually start, quick update on Tommy. I just spoke to Tommy Robinson about half an hour ago. Obviously, he's still being held hostage in Canada. And he was supposed to come on the channel tonight to give us an update. But we are hearing that tomorrow morning, obviously Canada time, they are making the decision as to what they're going to do to him. So he's going to come straight after the decision tomorrow, which probably for us will probably be late afternoon. Maybe early evening, we don't know. He's going to come straight on 2CTV Live to give us an update on what's happening in his life. All right, let's talk about our mini Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, because these guys are so embarrassing at this point, so desperate. Instead of actually coming up with workable policies, nope, they are trying to do weird publicity stunts and attack ads and now attack emails. This is so cringy what I'm about to show you. So, some of you are familiar with Lacy Butcher, the producer of 2CTV. She was sent this email, so she forwarded to me. Essentially, the Tories sent out this email to a lot of people, right? But Lacy, who's received the email, it's addressed Lacy, but it's sent from Lacy in the future. I'm not even kidding. They've basically done Back to the Future. Look at this. Message from Lacy for Lacy, July 2044. This is 20 years from now. This is so embarrassing. Lacy, yes, it's me. Or it's you, I should say. Oh, it's so bad. I am writing to you from July 2044. 20 years on from today. You voted reform. All right, before we show the rest. I would have started the first line by saying, yeah, I'm emailing from 2044, the Islamic Republic of Britain. That probably would have been more accurate. Anyway, let's go back to it. So Lacy apparently voted for reform. So 20 years from now, Lacy is now upset. Long story short, I wanted to let you know how it all turned out for you and for me. Long story short, not well. Lots of people like you and me. It's the same person. Oh my God. Voted reform. Well, we just ended up with masses of Labour MPs, and Reform ended up winning nothing. Our vote, for Reform, it didn't get us any Reform MPs. Oh, you're in for a shock, Tories. You're in for a shock. Just more Labour. And it's no surprise they never listened to you or me, just like the Tory government. Labour didn't care about us back in 2024. Didn't care about our concerns or about our priorities. And they still don't 20 years later on. Can I just clarify one thing about this weird, cringy email? So the Tories lost the election in 2024. And Lacy from the future, 20 years from now, has written an email to Lacy now, but saying it's been 20 years and the Tory party have not managed to beat Labour. They are saying that 20 years from now we're still going to have Labour government. Well, that's not really ambitious, is it? They're basically completely given up. But the attack isn't really against Labour, this email. It's against reform, because Lacy in 2024 voted reform. So Lacy in 2044 is doing this. Anyway, let's go back to the rest of the email. It continues. It gets worse. It gets much worse. So many other people across the country voted reform. That's a good thing. We let in hundreds more Labour MPs who wouldn't have won otherwise. So I've been living with a Labour supermajority for the last 2 decades. Why couldn't you beat Labour in 20 years' time? Oh my... All right. 16-year-olds were giving the votes, as were EU citizens and prisoners. They've kept Labour in power, or at least it explains why Labour is still in power. They've kept Labour in power for 2 decades and we've been ignored. It's so embarrassing. I'm not sure anyone listens to people like us anymore. To be honest, I feel like my vote counts now for less nowadays. I've got higher taxes now. Can't be higher than Tory government though. And you've had them ever since Labour got in. Starmer had to raise taxes to pay for more generous welfare benefits and to keep Angela happy. Yes, Reform moaned for a bit about how outrageous it was, but they weren't MPs, so no one cared. You were MPs, the Tories, and still people didn't care. Ugh. I could have stopped Keir Starmer's supermajority. I wish we'd used our vote differently back in July 2024. It gets worse. You and I still can. This time machine thing is so good. The time travel thing is genius. I wish I'd stopped for a moment. You wanted to give the Tories a kicking, and I wasn't alone. At least they admit it. It's funny. There were millions of people like me and you who felt like that. I wonder why. None of us wanted to see them back in again. But I didn't want to see them almost wiped out for good. Well, that's incorrect, because I know Lacy is going to actually destroy them. So, by the way, if you just tuned in now, this is an email sent by the Tory party to a number of people pretending to be their future self. So this Lacy received this email, so she forwarded it to me. So Lacy from 2044 has emailed Lacy in 2024. Anyway, because we needed MPs to stop him from doing whatever he wanted. Maybe you and me could have had people in Parliament speaking up for us and our values. People who would have fought to keep taxes low. You can't, because Labour is in government. Even if you have Tory MPs, you can't. Idiots. Police funding up, immigration lower. Immigration lower. So if we had voted Tory in 2024, we could have... Oh my... I made the wrong choice, handing our family's future over to Labour. You still have time. Let's not give Starmer the power to change our country for generations. Don't give up your say over Britain's future. Let's vote Conservative one more time. I've got a really strong feeling. I'm going to thank yourself. I'm going to thank yourself for it 20 years from now. I just feel so cringe right now. Anyway, the final part of this sci-fi episode, the time travel. Yours, Lacy, in bracket, you, from 2044. I genuinely believe years from now in history books, they will be using this email, just like how we're still using the note that that Labour MP left in the Treasury in 2010, saying to the Tories, I'm sorry, there's no money left in the country. This is just, it's kind of like iconic. It's so bad. That it's like they want to lose and they want to be destroyed forever. So I know they technically they were criticizing Keir Starmer 20 years from now destroy the country, but the point of it there was a propaganda email against Reform UK. They said if you vote Tories instead, if you have Tory MPs as opposition, they could stop high taxes. You can't, because Labour will have a majority. Doesn't matter how many Tory MPs are in Parliament, they're still going to do high taxes if they want to. This is so bad. So bad. Let's go and see what you guys are saying. Come on, please tell me I'm not the only one feeling like this about this stupid email. First super chat, Alana said, the Tory party died years ago, and those Canadians better give us Tommy back. Yes. John says, Do they not recall Brexit? The Brexit party? And the number... no, the numbers who voted for these. It's not just the Tories who should be worried. Exactly, it's the Labour Party. Reform coming up is taking more votes from the Labour Party as well as the Tories anyway. George says, on the other hand, Maya, surely the government should be contacting Canada about Tommy and asking what is going on, as Tommy is a British citizen being held against his will in a foreign country. Well, unless they are involved. Do you really think that the British government at this point really care about Tommy being held hostage by the Canadians? No, of course they don't care. All right, let's go back. Galloway Raider says, wait until Labour get in, you'll find out what taxes are. The thing is, it's so hard to raise taxes extra now because they are so high, unless you have a Jeremy Corbyn style manifesto. And I don't want to defend Keir Starmer and the Labour Party, and I'm not really saying that just trust them. Yes, of course, they're still potentially going to lie after the manifesto, but based on the Labour manifesto, and it's still a very bad socialist manifesto, but compared to what the Tories have done, based on the promises, spending and everything else, Labour won't really need to raise too much taxes because the taxes are already so high. Now, they might change their minds about the manifesto and do some crazy stuff, but based on what we are seeing, they won't even have to raise taxes, really. So what Starmer says, based on the manifesto, is correct. But of course, they can just go against their own manifesto as usual. Simon says, so that's it then. We're all voting Tory, reform. Wow, Freud. To tell the Tories to shut the F up. What more incentive do we need? Exactly. Especially after this embarrassing email, I think everybody should now vote reform. Shani says, that's some cringe sci-fi. Yes, it's so bad. William says that the email is ironic. Lebanon was a Christian country until they took in Muslim refugees. Now Lebanon is a Muslim country. What's that got to do with Lebanon? I think these two separate topics. I don't know. I've confused two things. Chris says, rest in peace, Conservatives. If you want a direction for the UK, vote reform. 5 or a few years' time, of course, things will change. The Conservatives need to listen to the people. I'm stuck in a Labour stranglehold of idiots. So even if you are in a Labour heartland, it doesn't matter. You still vote reform because it's about the popular vote. It's not even about the number of seats. It's about the popular vote. It's about sending a message saying, look how many people actually voted, even in Labour heartlands or wherever they are, or Brighton, the independent socialist Republic of Brighton. Leon says, I got this email, and so did my partner. Now humiliating. How humiliating. I know, it's and as Leon also says, a pathetic attempt. They are just alienating their own supporters at this point. It's just send an email saying, we're sorry, we did this to the country, but now we have a better plan, and we're going to deport Rishi Sunak. Some people might consider voting. Deport Sunak to California. I think I could vote Tory if they do that. Barbara says, dear Lacy, well done to us for voting reform. We are now a safer country. See, Barbara from the future is now sending a message to Lacy in 2024. See, we can do sci-fi as well. CCHQ. This is a clever Tory ploy to get people to vote Tory. It's not clever. It's stupid. It's embarrassing and it's desperate. It's not going to work. Joe Vlog says, Maya, is this 27th of July still happening? As far as we know, yes. Obviously, Tommy will come on the channel tomorrow after the decision in Canada. We'll ask him what's happening. And I think it should be okay. I don't know. Hopefully. I'm optimistic. Gary says, this could never be from 20 years' time because it's not in Arabic. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Hill wins tonight's comment of the day. It's brilliant. Genius. Absolutely spot on. Also, 20 years from now, still Labour government? I don't think so. I think it will be George Galloway's Islamic Party that will be in charge. And I know you can't blame Reform for that. Elmar says, Back to the Future movies are more credible than the email because within 2 years, we will be having another general election because Labour will have messed up. Absolutely spot on. They don't even know what they do. No, the email is so inaccurate, even comparing it to Back to the Future, the movies, because they said at the beginning of it, voting reform will not get any MPs. We know for sure, almost 99.999%, that at least Nigel Farage will be winning Clacton. Unless some weird stuff happens, we know Reform will at least get one seat. But the email was not accurate. So clearly something has gone wrong in the timeline until 2044. Simon says, what's Lacy looking like in 2044, by the way? Asking for a friend. I mean, this whole show about this email is ludicrous, but you have to laugh. It's like when someone is about to die, but they are doing they're organizing their own funeral, and they're attending their own funeral before they die. That's basically what's happening with the Tories in this email. It's like they want to see their own funeral for no reason. Tommy himself had thanked Canadian supporters that helped him financially. I'm one. So, yeah, we are aware of Tommy from way back. Good guys. Good patriots in Canada. Jerusalem Jim says, I just spoke to Canada. We're keeping Tommy because we need a new Prime Minister. Sorry, Brits. It's fine. Poilievre will be fine. You know, just support the Conservatives in Canada. You know, it's still better than nothing. Still better than the Tories in the UK, guys. So if you're in Canada, at least you guys have a bit of some sort of hope. Oh, by the way, I have a big update for you guys. Those of you who are familiar with 2CTV, you know I've been ranting about this documentary we've been making. Britain's multiculturalism myth. And it will be obviously our first exclusive and original documentary, which will be on 2CTV Plus, the website, 2c.tv, if you want to sign up. I can confirm, I know I give a lot of empty promises, a lot of delays. Hopefully by Monday or Tuesday, this will be ready and it will go live on 2CTV Plus. And I've just looked at the rough copy of the documentary. I can assure you, it's going to be the documentary of the year, guys. It's going to be beautiful. And those of you who attended the 1st of June rally, some of you might be in the documentary because we also filmed at the rally. Anyway, so if you want to check that out, the best thing you can do is go on 2CTV Plus. Go on 2c.tv, the website, obviously, and sign up to 2CTV Plus and get access to premium shows. Of course, some of you might already know, I'm going to give an update tomorrow. We are making changes to the shows because after the feedback I got from you guys, we are changing the format from next week, introducing new shows. Obviously, we're keeping Stephen Barrett's Due Process, the law show, because everyone likes that. But with the others, we're making all the changes. We're turning the 2CTV Plus platform into more of a library of knowledge, basically, for the future. So you can watch things in 2044 in the future. So we're going to have mini-series, mini-documentaries, and things that are actually worthwhile rather than just random weekly shows for no reason. So we're going to have basically a whole different thing on 2CTV Plus. Obviously 2CTV on YouTube, breaking news, live news stories and everything else. But 2CTV Plus, we need your support because of course we still get demonetized on YouTube. It's very difficult. And without the support on 2CTV Plus, on 2c.tv, we will not be able to continue. And of course, all the lovely people who are generous on Super Chats as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.